It's Monday, May 20. In the headlines, JTA highlights teachers' mental health concerns. Teen moms to get more support at WCJF. In business news, Tax Administration of Jamaica working to bring in late corporate income taxes. Regionally, Barbados, China celebrates decades of diplomatic ties. And in sports, Cavalier FC lifts third Jamaica Premier League title. This is the news on PBCJamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. The Jamaica Teachers Association is expressing contentment with the focus being given to educators' mental well-being after multiple reports of teachers grappling with various psychological challenges. More in this report.
After learning about the various psychological challenges educators face, such as depression and anxiety, exacerbated by the increase in violence within schools, Leighton Johnson, president of the Jamaica Teachers Association, JTA, expresses satisfaction with the attention being given to teachers' mental health. His remarks followed closely after an incident last Wednesday where a female teacher had a mental health breakdown at Sydney Pagan STEM Academy in St. Elizabeth. Speaking in an interview, Mr. Johnson argued, however, that much more work is needed to create a sense of comfort for persons suffering mentally.
There still remains a stigma. There still remains the fact that if people are suffering from anxiety or depression, they do not want to speak about it because they feel that they're going to be stigmatized.
Mr. Johnson has urged teachers not to suffer in silence.
As an association, we continue to advocate for mental health issues, teachers with mental health issues, and we also want to encourage the nation as best that the stigma that comes with mental health is one that we ought to, as best as possible, try to eradicate. This is a situation that can happen to anyone, and we hope as best as possible that our members are taking the best care of their physical state of being and their psychological health.
For the news on PBCJ, I'm Danita Rodney.
Teen mothers benefiting from the Women's Center Jamaica Foundation WCJF will have a nursery, dormitory, among other features when the new facility is built in St. Thomas. Prime Minister Andrew Holness made the announcement while speaking at the WCJF Charity Ball 2024 on the weekend. The Prime Minister says the project is being undertaken by the Factories Corporation of Jamaica as part of the Morant Bay Urban Centre. He also announced that talks are in train to open a dormitory in Kingston.
The Minister of Finance and myself, we further collaborated and we agreed, having discussed it with Minister Grange, that what is needed now to expand the services and to make it more impactful would be more dormitories in some areas, because some of the adolescents, the teenagers who have gotten pregnant, their home circumstances are such that they may leave home and get a reprieve in coming to the classes, but when they go back home, it's either uncomfortable or the family situation is such that it's just not cohesive.
He says he intends for it to be a public-private partnership.
We hope we can partner with private sector. We'll put up $10 million and I leave it to Minister Grange to chew off somebody else's ears to get the rest.
Mr. Holness pointed out that the Women's Centre is probably the most successful intervention program established by the government.
Since its establishment in 1978, the Women's Centre has been a cornerstone of hope and resilience for adolescent mothers across our country. Its initiatives have aligned perfectly with our international obligations and national policies aimed at reducing poverty achieving gender equality, and providing quality education for all.
He says the program has provided academic support for more than 50,000 teenage mothers.
In the last decade, 11,262 have been supported to go on to complete their secondary education, some going on to complete their tertiary education through the A Stream program, which was developed, conceptualized by Minister Olivia Grange. And that's a wonderful program. And to hear of some of the mothers becoming actuaries and registered nurses and doing very well, it's heartwarming.
Up to Friday, May 17, 163 people died in accidents on the road since the start of the year. Vice Chair of the National Road Safety Council, Dr. Lucien Jones, is concerned about the high number of incidents, and so is Prime Minister Andrew Holness. Mr. Holness met with Dr. Jones and other stakeholders to discuss the matter recently in an effort to stem the carnage on the country's roads. The government has been working to cut the number of road fatalities by half. Dr. Jones told the press that external agencies will also be consulted as stakeholders work to create safer roads. American Airlines is adding 8 new routes to Latin America and the Caribbean. The new routes include a Saturday service from Charlotte International Airport to St. Vincent and the Grenadines and weekly flights from JFK in New York to St. Lucia, St. Martin and Vincent and the Grenadines, all starting December 7. There will also be a daily service from JFK to Barbados from November 5, as well as a daily flight from Miami to La Roma, the Dominican Republic, beginning December 5. According to American Airlines, the Miami-Tortola BVI service will increase to 5 peak day flights starting December 7. Tickets for the new routes will be available for purchase on American Airlines website starting May 20. Time now for the Business Report with Denise Williams.
Good day, everyone, and thank you for joining us on the Business Report. I'm Denise Williams, your guide through the latest happenings in the world of business. Light and Power Company Jamaica Public Service, JPS, is reporting a net profit of US $13.1 million for its first quarter ended March. That works out to roughly 2 billion Jamaican dollars after tax for the 3-month period. JPS revenue was US $254.6 million for the period. That's compared to US $244.3 million in revenue for the same period in 2023. During the period, the company says it faced higher fuel costs along with the increased cost of sales. Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark says the Tax Administration of Jamaica, TAJ, is working to bring in the outstanding corporate income taxes owed by firms for last fiscal year. The category was short 14 billion Jamaican dollars based on the tax projections for the 2023-2024 fiscal year, affecting the country's fiscal surplus target. Speaking with Radio Jamaica News, Dr. Clark said an analysis will be done on the factors leading to the outstanding payments. Based on Jamaica's Income Tax Act, unpaid sums owed to the government will also accumulate interest from the day after it's due. Guyanese and Jamaican private sector interests have pledged to increase trade and investment activities between their respective countries. In 2022, Jamaica exported US $26.6 million worth of products to Guyana. The main products that Jamaica exported to Guyana were refined petroleum worth US $15.1 million, flavored water worth US $1.1 million, and vermouth, a flavored wine that was valued at US $1.02 million. Guyana exported US $101 million to Jamaica, with the main products exported to Jamaica being rice, worth US $58.9 million, non-fillet frozen fish, worth US $24.3 million, and fish fillets worth US $8.34 million. During the last 26 years, Guyanese exports to Jamaica have increased at an annualized rate of 10.8%, from US $7.08 million in 1996 to US $101 million in 2022. During the trade mission, Guyanese Foreign Secretary Robert Persad met with Jamaica's Industry Minister Aubin Hill, who led the Jamaican Export and Investment Mission to Guyana from May 12 to the 15th. During trading for the period of May 13, 2024 to May 17, 2024, the following companies valued at $500 million or more Jamaican dollars in assets represent the overall volume leaders in terms of equity sales on the main market of the Jamaica Stock Exchange. Toll road operator Trans-Jamaican Highway for the week had 179,979,136 units, amounting to 71.01% of the main market volume in terms of equity sales. Investment house JMB Group, 7.25%. Variable JMD cumulative rate preference shares with 30,172,595 units for the week amounted to 11.9% of the main market volume in terms of equity sales. Alternative energy provider Wigton Wind Farm Limited ordinary shares traded for the week an amount of 18,111,687 units, amounting to 7.15% of the main market volume in terms of equity sales. During trading for the period of May 13, 2024 to May 17, 2024, for that week on the Jamaica Stock Exchange, the following companies represent overall volume leaders in terms of sales of equity on the junior stock market, with companies valued at 50 million Jamaican dollars or more in asset value. Electrical and hardware distributor Fosrich Company for the week traded 161,293,034 units, amounting to 84.93% of the junior stock market volume in terms of sales. Online educational platform One-on-One Educational Services Limited for the week traded 7,807,764 units, amounting to 4.11% of the junior market in terms of sales. Microfinance lender Dollar Financial Services Limited for the week traded 3,355,615 units, amounting to 1.77% of the junior market volume in terms of sales. Over on the Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange, trading on May 17, 2024, registered a volume of 499,090 shares crossing the floor of the exchange, valued at $2,803,015 Trinidad and Tobago dollars and 46 cents. First Caribbean International Bank Limited was a volume leader with 138,923 shares, changing hands for a value of $958,434 Trinidad and Tobago dollars and 92 cents, followed by JMB Group Limited with a volume of 125,155 shares being traded for $161,391 Trinidad and Tobago dollars and 86 cents. Moving from the money moves of investors, executives, and companies, we turn to the Forex market. On May 17, 2024, the Bank of Jamaica reported that $49.9 million US dollars was bought from forex traders, while US $60.5 million was sold to forex traders. Buying directly from the Bank of Jamaica, foreign currency traders sold the US dollar for $157.01 and bought the US dollar for $155.48. The difference between the buy and sell rate was $1.53, which represents a profit for forex traders for every US dollar traded. Canadian forex traders earned a trading profit of 96 cents from transactions with the Bank of Jamaica. The Canadian dollar was sold at $115.58 and bought for $114.62. For traders looking at the British pound, they pocketed a profit of $7.95, selling it for $199.35 and buying it for $191.58. For our credit report tip of the day, let's talk about losing a job. It can be a very, very tough experience, but it's important to stay proactive. So you will have heard that looking for a new job is a job in and of itself. But also, when it comes to maintaining and rebuilding your credit, that's also a job. One of the first things we encourage you to do is assess your current financial situation, review all your expenses, and create a new budget based on your current income. Identify essential versus non-essential expenses to find areas where you can cut back. And with that, we wrap up today's business report. I'm Denise Williams. Appreciate your company. Stay well informed, stay ahead of the curve. Until our next update, take care.
In regional news, Guyana's President Dr. Irfan Ali says he has recognized the tremendous growth that the Caribbean community, CARICOM, has undergone.
President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali has recognized the tremendous growth that the Caribbean community, CARICOM, has undergone. The president made this remark on Wednesday evening during the launch of a book called Caribbean Perspective, which was written by long-standing journalist Sandra Ann Baptiste.
We are leading on climate in the global conversation. We are leading on forests in the global conversation. We are leading on debt refinancing in the global conversation. We're leading in financing for climate change in the global conversation. On peace, we're leading the conversation. On reparative justice, we're leading the conversation. And recently, we have found ourselves in the excellent position of ensuring what many leaders in the past spoke of, ensuring that this region remains a region of democratic credentials.
This is made clearer as each day CARICOM inches closer to its goal of linking its member states, either by way of transportation or the removal of trade barriers and the common food security goals.
I want to say very clearly that there is no other option than to succeed and win. CARICOM will not lose, and CARICOM will not be left behind. As a collective, we are going to confront the challenges of the past and the present. We're going to beat those challenges, and we're going to position CARICOM as the strongest bloc and most important bloc in this region.
Meanwhile, Baptiste said the work chronicled over the past 3 decades of the community's rich experiences with regional integration.
A symposium to celebrate nearly 50 years of diplomatic relations between China and Barbados was held at the Chinese Embassy in Christchurch. Wendy Burke attended, and in this story she tells us the relations go beyond loan financing.
Over the 47 years, Barbados and China have cooperated across many areas, including financial, tourism, agricultural, and educational. China says it takes pride in having Barbados as a friend, and Ambassador Yang Jishuang says they respect the island for advancing friendly relations to a new level. The National Stadium loan was signed a few days ago, and another project, the China Aid Center for Food Security and Entrepreneurship project, should be completed soon. Ambassador Xi Shuang is happy Barbados adheres to the One China policy.
The Chinese side highly appreciates the steadfast stance of the Barbadian government and people in upholding the One China principle, supporting China's reunification efforts, and maintaining peace and stability in the Taiwan Strait. China is willing to work with Barbados to continuously promote the implementation of the important consensus reached by the leaders of our two countries.
Barbados' second resident ambassador to China, Dr. Chelston Brathwaite, has chronicled his stay there from 2014 to 2017. He talks about new areas of training which have been developed.
And that is the relationship that has been established between the University of West Indies and the Suzhou Institute of Technology to train software engineers in China, an area of work that is new to our country, but has tremendous benefits going forward in terms of creating a new cadre of professionals in the area of software engineering.
President of the Association for Barbados-China Friendship, Dr. Dilar Worrell, says they're looking to do tours to the Asian country, while the Confucius Institute at the UWI has been preparing several exchange students to live there.
Daily, hourly, weekly, monthly, nightly, because China operates at a different time zone than Barbados. We are in cooperation and consultation, working through the different details of that relationship in the area of responsibility of our institution, the Confucius Institute.
The Barbadian government has major plans to improve and enhance the level and quality of nurses. This is according to the minister in the Ministry of Health and Wellness, Davidson Ishmael.
Migration is one of the major challenges of the local nursing profession. Minister in the Ministry of Health, Davidson Ishmael, says government is also concerned about the exodus of nurses.
We all know that Barbados has long been the recruiting ground for international recruiters who continue to poach our highly qualified nurses for their own markets. Ladies and gentlemen, the reality is that we will continue to lose nurses through migration because of the highly attractive benefits offered in developed nations and because we as a small island developing state simply cannot compete with them when it comes to the offerings of such lucrative and attractive packages. Unfortunately, the result of this migration is nurse shortages, which then impact on working conditions, patient outcomes, and the long-term health of nurses due to longer shifts being worked and higher nurse-to-patient ratios.
Mr. Ishmael says government has tried to ease the situation through the addition of Ghanaian nurses, and he hopes those presently studying will also help bring some change to the situation.
Our government intends to safeguard and further strengthen the health system despite the migration issue. We are seeking to increase the cadre of nurses in the 4-year BSc nursing program at the Barbados Community College, and our local nurses are being ably supported by a contingent of specialist nurses recruited regionally and internationally. Other initiatives include the Master Instruction Program provided by the Chamberlain University through the Barbados Community College. It is expected that on completion, participants would receive the American Nurses Credential Center Professional Development Hours, which is, at the end of the day, credits. There will also be continuous training programs for our nurses in the area of mental health, critical care, and leadership for development.
In sports, we kick off with football. Cavalier FC defeated Mount Pleasant FA in a 4-3 penalty shootout at the National Stadium on Sunday. The teams played to a 1-1 draw over regulation and extra time. Cavalier's goalkeeper Vino Bartlett made 2 saves in the shootout and Nicholas Hamilton scored the winner. The Jamaica Badminton Association provides training and support to players, umpires and coaches. The association aims to promote the sport nationally and internationally in a bid to generate interest. Badminton is often seen as an elitist sport. However, local badminton coach and umpire Devon Wisdom puts a different spin on that notion.
Devon Wisdom has been an athlete for most of his life. He attended the Hope Valley Primary School, where he participated in cricket, football, and track and field. Wisdom transitioned to Arden High School, where he played football and basketball. He also played basketball at the national level for Jamaica. In 2008, he started working at the Institute of Sports or in sports as a sports officer, where he became intrigued by badminton after attending a workshop.
Play basketball throughout my school life. Didn't know anything about badminton. In 2014, my work, it is in sport, they sent me to a workshop by GC Foster, a badminton workshop. First time seeing badminton, first time doing anything about badminton. I went there with an open mind and I said, let me just give the sport a try. Did the workshop, we was there for about 4 hours and it was very good. And from the workshop, I fell in love with the sport.
Badminton became a speciality for Wisdom.
I did the level one coaching course in 2015, and they put me on to, if I could call his name, Trevor McCain, which is one of the trainer for the umpire locally. I went with him on a training, and from then I started going to tournaments. I did the umpire test, and I passed it, become one of the country's national umpire. And then from there, took it on seriously. I was supposed to go to international to get certified. COVID came in 2020 and kind of set us back. So then I went, in 2023, I went to Peru, which I did the international course, and I was successful. And I am now officially a Pan Am umpire, one of Jamaica. There's only 3 of us here. Well, one is retired, so it's only myself and Joseph and Joshua Clark. There's only 2 of us here in Jamaica right now, which is Pan Am accredited.
According to Wisdom, there are specific skill sets needed to become an umpire.
For you to be at an advanced umpire, you need more games, you need more on court. Yeah, you could watch YouTube, you could watch those videos, but you have to be on spot in the game. Because sometimes you have to make decisions on spot, and the only way to get experience is to be on the court.
He says, while badminton is not as popular, it does have the potential to become a more common sport. For the news on PBCJ, I'm Chanel Matthews.
The Guyana Football Federation and the Saudi Arabian Football Federation have inked a 2-year memorandum of understanding that covers a broad range of areas designed to significantly bolster the football ecosystem in Guyana. The MOU, which is a first between the two nations, was signed on Thursday by GFF President Wayne Ford and the Saudi FF President Yasser Al-Mashiel.
Through the MOU, there will be collaboration in 17 areas, among them marketing and commercial activities, sport facilities, coach development, refereeing, academies and technical development, league and competition development, women's football, youth football, futsal, beach soccer, sport science and sport medicine, and governance issues. GFF President Wayne Ford stated that the MOU is another step by the Federation to ensure national players are provided every opportunity to compete at the highest level through strategic partnerships. According to Ford, the collaboration with the Saudi Arabia Football Federation will open up a new frontier to the GFF and the Saudi Federation for cultural exchanges and capacity building in the areas of sport science, youth development, infrastructure development, women's football and youth football, among others. Over the next 2 years, Ford explained that the two federations will apply their best efforts in the creation of an exemplary, impactful legacy of the true spirit of cooperation and collaboration among football nations. The MOU comes just 2 months after the historic FIFA series, where Guyana's senior national men's football team competed in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and resulted in a working relationship being established between the GFF and the Saudi presidents. During their stint in Saudi Arabia, the Golden Jaguars impressed in a 1-0 loss to a much higher-ranked Cabo Verde before rebounding strongly to clinch a commanding 4-1 victory over Cambodia at the Prince Abdullah Al Faisal Stadium in Jeddah. The FIFA series saw 19 other nations from confederations participating, enabling teams to compete outside their confederation. It also allowed member associations to forge connections and create opportunities for their players.
And that's the news on PBCJ. You can follow us on our social media platforms at PBCJamaica. Thanks for watching.